everybody, this is Lila in Hawaii. Ha'oli makahiki ho. That's Hawaiian for Happy New Year, and this is how it's written if you want to see that. Anyway, I always make these calendars for gifts. This year, I didn't make them for Christmas gifts for my friends. I gave them something else. But I still like to make the calendar, so I thought I'd show you how I do it. It's really easy to get it, the proportions right. The first thing you need is some fabric. Just a piece of fabric, and this is 7 inches wide by 10, 7 by 10. I've already placed the image where I want it and the calendar, and then you cut a piece of heavy cardstock, and this is 7 inches wide, 7 inches wide, and it happens to be 12 inches long because that was the length of the pad that I tore it from. You then want to label and score 1 1/4 inches, and I use the scoring. I do this. I just take this and I run it. It's an awl, and I just run it along fairly heavily, not to cut right through. So you need 1 1/4 inches, then 2 inches, then 2 inches. Don't forget it's 7 inches wide, and the rest, this part, will be your image and your ornamentation, whatever you want to put. I'm keeping it simple, so I'm just going to use that, and it's going to be like that. The next thing you need is a calendar, and I printed this off for $2.19 calendar, cut it into pieces, and I kept the $2.19 off the top and glued it there. I ran a little bit of a glue ink over it just to blend it in more. I'm not sewing any of this. You could definitely stitch everything there, stitch around. I just tore the fabric, and the reason I'm leaving that not covered with fabric, I find it glues on the back better if it doesn't have the fabric on it. Now, to make the little calendar thing here, I took the pieces, cut them all up, and of course I stacked them correctly. Pays to double check, because I know, it could kind of mess up. I could anyway. So you do that, and then punch a little hole either side of the stack, and I threaded some twine and tied it in a little knot, because when the person that receives it, okay, so they've seen January, and there's enough room to put a little X if that's the doctor's appointment or something, and then you just pull that off. I think that might be 2. Well, anyway, that's 1 or 2, but make sure it's the right one, and you pull that off, and you've got the next one, and it stays like that. The only thing I've done is I've just glued it underneath here, and the glue hasn't really set up yet, but I didn't want to glue all this down, so I've just glued it. Well, you can probably see that far at the back, so that's the last page, like so. So that's easy, isn't it? And this cardstock image I thought was really pretty for New Year, so that's already done. Now the next thing to do is to glue this onto the paper, and I know I said I wasn't going to stitch it, however I think I may stitch it. First of all though, I'm going to glue it on, so I use some good old Elmer's glue, and I'm not going down to that last piece at this point, but I do need a fairly good gluing first. I hope you can see that. And then I take my good old squeegee. In this case it's a Safeway card, and I'm going to just spread the glue around. Make sure that's right. I want to make sure you can see that. The main part is, of course, the front. Okay, so that's stuck on there. I want to get glue on that. And then I glue this carefully, so no white is showing. Oops, dear. Okay. Take a piece of rag because I don't want to get glue on my hands, or I may have glue on my hands. So that's good. I've got that like that. You can always go back and adjust, like if this hasn't stuck down completely here, you can always go back and do that later. Okay, before that gets too sticky. So that's at this point now. That's kind of complete. Now this is a desk calendar. So all you need to do, as I said, you can stitch there. Because the glue's not dry, I can't stitch. I thought I could, but I cannot. So, first of all, I'm going to remove the top page of this newspaper because it's gluey. Okay, here we go. Now, I already creased it, and all the folds go toward the back on these. So you'll have 3 folds, like so. I'll show you on the back. They should be like that. And then all you're going to do is you're going to, well, if you want to strengthen or add more to this, you can either do it now. So I always save these pieces that were cut off the edge, and I sometimes glue them where I think it needs a little, you know, like for example in the stand at the bottom. Maybe I should do that now. So, don't want it right to the edge, but I'll put a little glue on this, and it just gives it a little more stability, maybe. So that can go there, and that one. That's the stand thing, and or the brace, you might say. Anyway, I'm going to put this out of the way, and of course you could also do that one. I'll just see how I go, see if I need to, and it's going to roll like that. Actually, I want to put this, I think I'm going to put this one here. Or maybe I should take this one and put this one on this one. You see, it's kind of hard to see with no lines on this side. Okay, so I'm going to put that there, and then this one's going to go on this one. So these are just the pieces cut off the edge. And that is so easy, isn't it? You can use your own artwork on these, and I often do. If I've done a painting, last year, for example, I painted Monet's water lilies, and that was my calendar for last year. This year, I'm taking the easy way out, so it'll be like that. So now, what I need to do, you see how that is? I had to leave that unglued because it wouldn't stick. I tried it with the fabric on, it just would not stick. It was a mess. So I'm going to now glue this, and of course I can come over and cover that and make it look pretty. You can put rickrack, you could put, actually rickrack would be kind of cool because it would have the same feel. You could put that on the front, and you could put it here too. Okay. You sometimes may have to adjust it a bit at the back while it's wet. Let's see if that's, I don't want it to fall over. No, that's going to fall. No, it has to be that far down. So there it is. Now, of course, it's not the most stable thing in the world, so sometimes one needs to reinforce the back with a stay, it's called, and so I think I may have to do that. I'll show you how I do that. I don't know if I've got a strong piece of cardboard. Let me see, here's a piece. Okay, will go like that, and that's going to go like that. Hot glue would be a good thing at this point, which I don't have. So what I did was I just took a piece of cardstock and I folded both ends in. Something I picked out of my garbage actually, so it's got some strings stuck on it. But this can all be either painted or covered with more fabric. Let me see here. Okay. Needs to be pretty strong. Now you want to position it so that that is in the center. Whoops. Stay there. That should be in the center there. This is the stay. Oh boy. So it's going there. Right in the center where that fold up. See how the sides are like this? Now in the past what I've often done is I've actually put more pieces of cardboard in there to make it even firmer. So I'm just holding this for a minute. So it kind of sticks a bit. As I said, I picked this piece of cardboard out of the garbage. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I want this to lean back just like that. Okay, so there, about there, whoops, there, there, there. So it's going to be there and there. That's a stay. Now, this is only suitable if you're giving, like this, I can't do much more with it, if you're giving it to the person, but if you're mailing it, of course, you have to flatten the stay because it just won't work in an envelope, so... Otherwise the whole thing will flatten out and you can just mail it. I think I gave I don't think I mailed any. Okay. Okay. There you go. Now, as I said, the back maybe looks a little odd. I do have some extra fabric. And what I will do is I will, when this is all dried and set up, I'll go ahead and I'll add some, maybe my name and a greeting, and I'll probably paint it at the back, paint it green, and I'm not going to add any more fabric here, but I could add a little rickrack here, as I said, and I could also, at some point, I could add some rickrack around here if I wanted. But anyway, that's the way it is right now. And boy, I hope I wasn't out of shot there. Let me go over that again. I put a stay on the back like that, so it's just a piece of the same cardstock folded over both ends, and I glued it to the back. As I said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write a greeting here, and I'll also, you know, add some decals or something, maybe some stamping. I'll probably paint it green or something like that to finish the back up, so I'm not going to do that right now. But the front, as I said, you can go ahead any way you like, and you could sew it around, you could put rickrack, you could put anything you like. I see here I'm going to have to glue at the top a little more. Right there. So that was not quite right. So I'm going to move this back. Let's see if I can turn the camera so it's... There you go. Gee. Wasn't a good idea to use newspaper underneath it. It's just slipping. So anyway, that's the calendar for New Year 2019, can you believe? Very easy, pretty neat, pretty cool, actually, easy. I hope you'll enjoy it and make it, and thanks again, and once again, Ho'ole makahiki ho from Hawaii. Lila signing out. Bye-bye.